But tonight, our top story, and what's really been the top story right through this week. For a week really now, the Pegasus snooping scandal, allegations that phones were hacked, has stalled the parliament's proceedings. Today, Congress MP Rahul Gandhi spoke out and demanded Home Minister Amit Shah's resignation, accusing him of treason. The centre insists that the snooping charges are based on conjecture and have no basis whatsoever. They've rejected the demand as of now for an opposition probe. All of this is building up to yet another parliamentary showdown. Our correspondent Anand Patel has been tracking every move in our top story tonight.
For the past 1 week of the monsoon session, these are the scenes that have dominated the narrative.
Who saw the boorish?
The opposition has come out all guns blazing, mounting heat on the centre over alleged Pegasus snooping scandal.
In the House in the presence of the chair.
The Congress, flanked by the Shiv Sena and DMK, staged a protest outside Parliament on Friday, demanding a Supreme Court monitored probe.
They have used it against the Supreme Court. They have used it against all the institutions of this country. The only word for this is treason. There is no other word for this.
The Congress also questioned a 300% hike in National Security Council budget during 2017-18 and linked it to Pegasus software purchase. The BJP was quick in its counter-attack.
लॉ ऑफ द लैंड के हिसाब से अगर राहुल गांधी जी को ये लगता है कि उनका फोन टैप किया जा रहा है तो वो अपना फोन इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए दें और इन्वेस्टिगेशन में अगर पाया गया तो आईपीसी के हिसाब से कार्रवाई उसके ऊपर होगी.
Inside Parliament, the showdown hit new lows. TMC MP Shantanu Sen was suspended. Sen had snatched the statement from IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw's hand, tore them and flung them in the air, preventing the minister from reading it out on Thursday.
Dr. Shantanu Sen stands suspended for remaining part of the bill. For the remaining part of the session.
The cabinet minister inside the house is threatening a member of parliament like anything, using abusive language. And again, I repeat, he was about to assault me.
There have been allegations that you abused Shant.
Do I look? No, I'm not making a statement. I'm not the abusing type. Nothing like that happened.
IT Minister Vaishnav accused the TMC of bringing Bengal's violence culture to Parliament.
TMC has a culture of violence in Bengal. That same culture of violence they are trying to bring in the Parliament.
हम बहुत खुश हैं कि ये बंगाल का कल्चर जो बीजेपी का अगेंस्ट है और डेमोक्रेसी के फॉर है, वो कल्चर हम यहाँ लाने में बहुत खुश हैं.
From Pegasus snooping to the farm laws, opposition parties have not let go any opportunity to target Modi government and stall parliament proceedings. With the centre not yielding to the opposition demands, expect more fireworks next week when the session resumes. With camera person Ashok Banod, this is Anand Patel in New Delhi for India Today.
Okay, let's go straight across then to my first newsmaker. Derek O'Brien is the Trinamool Congress's leader in the Rajya Sabha. Remember, their MP was suspended today. Mr. O'Brien, your MP suspended because he clearly crossed a certain boundary when he snatched the paper, the speech of the IT minister yesterday and tore it apart. How can you justify this behavior? Mr. O'Brien.
After the House was adjourned yesterday, I'm listening to you. I heard your question. After the House was adjourned yesterday, a lot of other things happened. Don't take Trinamool Congress's word for it, because you might think because it's a Trinamool Congress MP. There was some serious breach happened after the House was adjourned yesterday. We will present 10 opposition MPs, not one, 10 opposition MPs to put out the truth about what happened in Rajya Sabha.
No, tell us
Please
the truth.
Please understand the bigger issue here.
Please tell us the truth first. We'll come to the bigger issue.
Yes. We wanted a discussion. The truth is that we wanted a structured discussion in both houses of parliament. That is one. BJP were running away from a structured discussion. We wanted the Prime Minister, we want the Home Minister to come and answer these questions. Now, why? Why? What is Pegasus? This is not a video game. You've using espionage warfare against your own citizens. 2, using military software against media, your opponents, your colleagues and the judiciary. 3, setting up a surveillance state. This is an irrefutable crime. Who are the criminals? As parliamentarians, we want this government to be answerable on these issues.
You have every right to demand accountability. You have no right to tear the speech of the IT minister in Parliament. Your MP has been suspended, and this is not the first time that this has happened. So clearly you are seen as a party which in Parliament is determined in a way to stretch the boundaries of acceptable behavior.
Absolutely not. I'll give you another example, which is a badge of honor, Mr. Sardesai. You're talking about badge unacceptable behavior. Wait, please go back on the farm laws. 7 of us got suspended.
That's right.
3 from the Congress party, 2 from the Trinamool Congress, 2 from the left. Let me finish. 2 from the left. Why? Because the government didn't allow us, didn't give us our right to have a division. So what happened? We got suspended. So we went out and sat next to Gandhi statue. What has happened now on the farm laws? What has happened on the farm laws? BJP mustn't teach us about Parliament because we can give them a tutorial on Parliament. Modi and Shah don't understand Parliament, and Arun Jaitley, may his soul rest in peace, is not there to give them. He used to actually, I think, give them some direction. BJP couldn't care less about Parliament. This is the same BJP. Let me give you statistics. No rhetoric. UPA 1, 60% of bills were scrutinized. UPA 2, Trinamool was not part of the government. Congress led it. 70% of bills were scrutinized in Parliament. Modi 1, 25% of bills were scrutinized. Modi 2, 11% of bills were scrutinized. So don't give me lectures from BJP about how to run Parliament and what is propriety and what is not parliamentarian. They don't have a clue about running Parliament. They want to ruin every institution in India. And why? Why are they running away from? We want Parliament to run. All opposition parties want Parliament to run. Please.
So are you telling me, Mr. O'Brien, when the government spokespersons come on our show and say they are ready to discuss all issues, are you telling me that's a charade only meant for TV cameras? That within Parliament they are not willing to discuss these issues? Is that what you're claiming?
No charade. If BJP come and if BJP spokespersons come on your show, there's no charade. Let me give you the direct word. Let's not mince our words these days. They are SH1T. They are SH1T scared of having a discussion in Parliament on what I just told you about. Espionage, warfare against own citizens, military software, crimes against media, opponents, collegians, setting up a surveillance state. Modi and Shah, no soft stuff here. They are SH1T scared. Come in Parliament, Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah, any case. He comes for all parliamentary party meetings for 9 minutes. He comes once a week.
What is FH1T scared?
Yes. Some propriety you have to have on your show, na?
Okay.
You want me to say it? Scared. Understood.
No, you can avoid it. You can avoid that, Mr. O'Brien. No, Mr. O'Brien, I want to understand from you very clearly. Our focus at the moment is whether there should be a judicial probe or a probe into, or any independent probe into Snoopgate. The government's view is that there is no corroborative evidence, none whatsoever. Just on the basis of a list which is put out, that's simply not enough to have a probe on a serious issue like this, because that, they say, is clearly the opposition engaging in sensationalism. You provide hard evidence beyond the list, and we will order a probe, is what the government says. Go ahead and file an FIR in the police station. That's the way forward.
On July, 2 points. 2 points. On July the 21st, addressing a large public rally, the chairperson of the Trinamool Congress, Ms. Mamta Banerjee, was very clear. She pleaded for the judiciary to do the suo motu probe. This is one. That's the judiciary part. Now in Parliament, now we're coming into Parliament. Answer us a simple question we are asking you in Parliament. We can have a short notice question. These are the techniques and strategies of Parliament which somebody has to run a tutorial for them. We are willing to do it for free. Opposition parties, I spoke to Congress, DMK, they're all willing. We'll do the free tutorials for BJP.
No, what's the
They
question?
don't understand Parliament. Why can't they answer a short notice question? Yeah, this is the option I'm telling you. Mr. Sardesai, it's not my problem if BJP don't understand how Parliament works. Why don't they answer a short notice question next week? I think it's Rule 58. Here's the question. One line question. Short notice. Let Mr. Amit Shah or Modi come. Don't send the IT minister who's still looking for a bungalow in Delhi. Please. It's beyond IT. When I'm using words like espionage, warfare, surveillance, this is not IT.
What's the question?
Did you hire Pegasus? Did you hire Pegasus? The government of India hired Pegasus. Is that correct?
That's all you want an answer?
Yes.
That's all you want an answer to?
Is it correct?
Is that enough to let us assume that the answer let us assume the answer to that question is in the affirmative. Does that call for a probe?
Yes. You know what happened when Bill Clinton was asked the same question in the Lewinsky case. He said, when you said, is that correct? What is the meaning of the word is? So let's not get into the semantics. Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah have a track record, which they have to live up to. These are the boys from 2002.
No, these are all your personal attacks. I am asking you, what is the evidence at the moment for your demand, your Trinamool Congress demand, that there should be a judiciary-headed probe?
Why is there a personal? Why you, Mr. Sardesai? Mr. Sardesai, no JPC. I'm telling you, no JPC. Because JPC, we've had so many JPCs, the joint parliamentary committees in the past. Then everything is put under the rug during the JPC. No JPC. JPC is not the solution. JPC will be headed by a BJP chairperson, the way they run the parliamentary committees. No JPC. And I did not make any personal attack. No. I have full respect for the Prime Minister. I have full respect for the Home Minister. All I'm referring to is Mr. Modi and Shah's track record of 2002 and the surveillance state they ran in Western India. That surveillance state model has now had a national launch. This is a big, big story. How dare they did what they did to Abhishek Banerjee, our General Secretary, or our political strategist, or Mr. Rahul Gandhi, or the media. And how sickening is it? Because Dainik Bhaskar was doing stories against them, they went after Dainik Bhaskar, and today I've got news that they went into the Wire office. What is this? The media have to stand up, the judiciary. And what about the Gogoi case? What about that lady? That's another shame. That also should come into Parliament.
I am asking you,
the former Chief Justice, linked to Pegasus.
I am asking you one final time. You're saying no to a JPC probe.
No joint.
No, 1 minute. You're saying no to a joint parliamentary committee.
Yes.
You're saying you want a short duration discussion. And yet you are saying that you want this case to be thoroughly investigated.
Wait. Yes.
So who's going to do this investigation?
Who,
according to you, is going to do an investigation?
1 minute. Let there be a judicial inquiry. What's the problem? Mamata Banerjee said this on 21st of July. Let there be one. But that does not mean we cannot discuss this issue in Parliament. Why are you running away from a discussion in Parliament? What are you sending your IT minister? Is this a video game called Pegasus, which we are discussing? It's not a video game, IT minister. No. Please, Mr. Sardesai, before I end this program, why does the Prime Minister and the Home Minister need to be in Parliament to discuss this issue and take the questions? You're telling my MP, toe the paper. What else are you doing? You made a statement in Lok Sabha. We put a privilege notice on you there because that statement was riddled with falsehood. Now you come and you want to read the same statement. Parliamentary tactic is what? When a minister reads a statement, what is the rule, Mr. Sardesai? Let me explain. When a minister reads, 3 or 4 MPs from the opposition after that are given 45 seconds each. You think we want 45 seconds to discuss espionage, warfare, crime? This is a crime in a surveillance state against the media, against your own opponents, against your colleagues.
You have every right to demand a discussion, but I will ask you one last time, and I want a short answer to this. Are you in any way apologetic over the behavior of your MP that has led to his suspension? Yes or no?
Two parts. I'll answer your question directly. No, we are not apologetic. And two, we will bring justice. Also, the cabinet minister has to meet the same, if what my MP did was wrong, what the cabinet minister did, don't believe Trinamool. Next week you will hear from 10 opposition parties, eyewitnesses. They will be witnesses for the prosecution. They will come out and speak as to what happened that day. The most boorish hooliganism ever seen on the history of parliaments. Not my words. Not my words. I also said it. Talk to all senior MPs next week. You'll see what happens. Then it's BJP. Again, BJP cannot pretend. They want to run parliament. They do not want to run parliament. Please, my last point, Mr. Sardesai. This is the same BJP who suspended 6-7 MPs for the farmer bills. Now they want to rewrite parliament and say they want to put something on pause. No, repeal the farm laws. This is how parliament works. Let me end by saying free tutorial classes to all members of the BJP who are clueless about parliament. The one or two who did have some clue have now been removed from the cabinet.
Let me leave it there. Derek O'Brien, you're clearly on a roll today. And I'm going to, it's a Friday night. Let's leave it there. I appreciate your joining us. Thank you very much. Derek O'Brien, leader of the Trinamool Congress in the Rajya Sabha, clearly on a roll. Let's raise some big questions. Is there enough proof for a snoopgate probe, or is it purely based, even as it is being suggested by the government at the moment, on sensationalism? Is a probe necessary to put fear in a way to ensure to serve as a precedent? Has the government of Narendra Modi decided to brazen out snoopgate? Just some of the questions I'll raise. Yashovardhan Azad is a former IPS officer who served with the Intelligence Bureau. Shazia Ilmi is the BJP spokesperson, and Gaurav Vallabh is the Congress's spokesperson. I will request all my panelists that on the show to try and avoid as far as possible crosstalk so all of you can be heard. Shazia Ilmi, you might have heard Derek O'Brien, but I want to ask you this. Rahul Gandhi today has called the entire snoopgate incident, Pegasus Gate, treason. Said the Home Minister should resign because they were snooping on the opposition and other members of civil society. Your sharp response, ma'am.
So first of all, I would like to comment on what Derek O'Brien said and the way he defended his MP, who everybody saw tearing the papers and throwing it in front of the Deputy Speaker, in the face of the Deputy Speaker in the Parliament. Imagine this ruffian hooliganism is being witnessed in the Parliament. Imagine what must be happening in West Bengal on the streets. So that's one. So that says a lot about Derek O'Brien and his party, that he's proud of it. And we heard his very threatening tone, the threatening overtones of the conversation about what he plans to do, which is very much in line with how they think. Two, as far as Pegasus is concerned, Pegasus's parent company, NSO Group, has clearly denied it. But not even that. If the question Derek O'Brien and others want to ask of the Indian government, that is Pegasus being used for anything at all, let me say that we have so many arrangements with different intelligence agencies for various purposes, whether it's MI5 or KGB or Mossad. And why should Indian government actually have to answer a question that has to do with its internal security?
No, one minute. It has to answer. No, 1 minute, ma'am. No, 1 minute. First of all, you've gone into KGB, MI5, Mossad. I am asking you a basic question, ma'am. Why no? Why no to an inquiry? What is it that you want to hide?
No, that's what I'm saying. There is nothing to be hidden. So if Rahul Gandhi is so scared that, last time he went to Supreme Court with the Rafale talk, and he went all over town calling the Prime Minister the various names. You know what came out of it. I think Rahul Gandhi and Mamata Banerjee are petrified that it will meet the same fate, which is why they're scared to trust the Indian Parliament, the Indian law agencies, because Parliament cannot really probe. You have to go to the court.
Ma'am.
And what stops Rahul Gandhi or Mamata Banerjee from taking the phone to a cybercrime cell and filing a complaint? As for France, when President Macron has actually initiated a probe, that's on the basis of a criminal complaint filed by Mediagate, which is the agency which Forbidden Stories also uses and talks about, where Fabrice Afri talks about. So they have filed a criminal complaint. What stops them from filing this criminal complaint?
So you're saying the opposition should file a criminal complaint. Before I come to Gaurav Ballabh, I want a direct answer to a direct question I posed to Derek O'Brien, or a question he posed to me also. Why does the government of India not tell us whether they hired Pegasus or not, whether there was a contract with Pegasus? Do you want to tell the country or not?
No, but anything, I don't know. I have no idea whether Pegasus was used or not. But I will not ask on the basis of some report in media whether which agency is being used or not, if it has nothing to do with either surveillance and what the government does for internal security.
Okay.
I think that's a prerogative of every government. So why should...
Okay.
I don't know this.
No, because it's my taxpayers' money. It's my taxpayers' money that's going into the surveillance state.
Taxpayers' money is used for internal security.
Oh, okay.
To keep us safe, for intelligence sharing.
Okay.
And government has various intelligence... You know that, Rajdeep. The government has various arrangements to ensure that we get intel, that we keep our borders safe, that we know what's happening.
Sure, but I don't know what borders are kept safe if a Gagandeep Kang, virologist, is going to be tracked, if Ashok Lavasa, former EC, is going to be tracked, if Alok Verma is going to be tracked.
Phone is being tapped. No, what stops Rahul Gandhi? Is it the fear that he will be again proven wrong? What stops him from believing in Indian democracy?
Let me take that straight. You made your point, ma'am. I've given you time. Let Gaurav Ballabh respond. Gaurav Ballabh, what stops Rahul Gandhi or indeed the Congress? If the BJP is guilty, you're saying, of treason, what stops him from filing a criminal complaint?
Rajdeep, our democracy is based on 4 pillars: executive, legislature, judiciary and media. And in the form of this Pegasus snoopgate, you are making a cyber attack on Supreme Court. You are making a cyber attack on CBI. You are making a cyber attack on Election Commission. You are making a cyber attack on the opposition leaders. You are making a cyber attack on journalists. You are making a cyber attack on scientists. You are making cyber attack on human rights activists. Then what is this? This is a clear-cut case of treason. If this is not treason, then there is nothing best, or there can't be any other definition of treason.
Why not file an FIR? My point, Gaurav Ballabh, why not file an FIR?
I am giving an answer. You are giving permanent dent to all 4 pillars of democracy and saying it is not treason. Coming to your direct question, Rajdeep, that why don't file an FIR? When there is a clear-cut case of treason in the country and the government is telling that file an FIR.
Don't intervene, ma'am. Please don't intervene.
This is treason, ma'am. This is treason. If this Pegasus is purchased without your information, no,
Shazia, let me ask the question without intervening. He did not intervene. He did not intervene while you were speaking. But I want to ask you, Gaurav Ballabh, just a minute. Gaurav Ballabh, if you are saying it is treason, there are laws that are available. I know that you can file under the IT Act if you believe someone is snooping on you. You can file under the Penal Code if you believe there is an act of criminality that has been conducted. You've got an IT standing committee that's headed by Shashi Tharoor that can also look at this. I am asking you, what is it that is stopping the Congress from going ahead and filing a criminal complaint?
Rajdeep, this is a massive criminality. I will say it means you are giving a permanent dent to judiciary. You are giving permanent dent to the executive. You are giving permanent dent to legislative. You are giving permanent dent to media. And you are saying file an FIR. What kind of argument is this? I am having very simple 2 questions. By the end of this program, get me the answer of these 2 questions. Did the government of India or any agencies buy Pegasus software or not? If yes, then this is a case to be probed. If no, then this is a bigger, severe case to be probed. That without any authorization from Government of India, the outsider agencies are probing our judiciary, our election commission, our legislative.
No, this is under the assumption. This is under the assumption that the list involves hacking. One minute, ma'am. I'll handle it. Please. No, ma'am. I will give each one. I'll give you your time, Shazia Ilmi. No.
Second question.
Yes.
Second question, Rajdeep.
Yes.
A very simple question. Please get me the answer. National Security Council Secretariat grant allocation was 33 crore in 2016-17. In 17-18, it got increased to 333 crore, means a jump of 909%. Why this jump was there? Because there was a heading in the budget document that this is cyber security R&D. What is this cyber security R&D which was done in the year 2017-18? We want to precisely know the answer to this question.
Okay.
Nothing more, nothing less.
Yes. I think Rajdeep.
No, just a minute, ma'am. Just a minute. I will go to Yashovardhan Azad, who's listening, because he will be able to maybe make sense of this. Yashovardhan Azad, in 2011-12, the total allocation to National Security Council, 17.43 crores, increased to 26.06 in 2013-14. NDA takes office, increases to 44 crores, comes down interestingly to 33 crores in 2016-17. But in 2017-18, soon after Mr. Modi's visit to Israel, it shoots to 333 crores under cyber security research and development expenditure. You've been a former IB man. Explain what this is. Are you surprised by it, or is it routine?
No, I think different governments accord different kind of priority level to security budget, and therefore what happens in the security budget, it will be very difficult to explain, except that there are many other parts in the security budget, you know, border fencing and lighting, and of course in terms of cyber security, there will be also a lot of things which can be included. But the important point here is that there are two things at which, you know, if you want to establish the credibility of the organization we are talking about, NSO, in 2019, WhatsApp is already in court against the NSO in United States of America under the computer abuse and, you know,
but how do you proceed in this case? How do you proceed, Yashovardhan Azad, in this specific case?
I'm telling you, that's exactly what I'm telling you. So the background is that the NSO has been targeted because it was targeting the operating system of the WhatsApp, and it was trying it through video calling. So already a precedent is there. Now the NSO says that, you know, we have sold this spyware to about 40 countries and 60 institutions. The question is, if you have a list of 300 people or say 40 journalists, etc., and some of whom the mobiles have been forensically tested and they have been targeted, there is more the reason for the government to order a probe for two respects. One is, either you answer that you have bought something of this spyware. Number two, are there any agencies which have bought them independently? Third, if it is being targeted by anybody else, then it's more the reason why the government should get into it.
Can the government, Mr. Azad, claim though under national security we cannot divulge what contracts we've made?
No, of course, the government has a right that in terms of for intelligence and security, that is what this spyware is for. It is for targeting the terrorists. Mind you, Rajdeep, this is not for mass surveillance. This is for targeting one-to-one person, and almost each one of that equipment costs about 70 lakhs. So we are talking about a huge amount of money that can be done by the government. What I'm saying is, you know, the UN rapporteur has also said that we should put an end to the end-use transfer of these dangerous, you know, spyware all over the world. If this is happening as a part of corporate espionage or something, again, more the reason why the government should get into it.
I take your point. I take your point. You believe that a probe. No, now, Shazia Ilmi, let me ask you a simple question. Just a minute, man. Now listen to it. France orders a probe, as you mentioned also. Israel is looking at it. Israel is looking at it closely. Other countries are also, many of them, who you would call autocracies, are also now suggesting that they are willing to perhaps look at least what exactly this spyware was doing. India, which calls itself a constitutional democracy, doesn't want to order even a probe and only lives in denial, saying there is nothing to answer.
Rajdeep, I think you only heard part of what I was saying, and you weren't paying attention to the entire observation that I made, and which is based on facts. There's a criminal complaint made by a company called Mediapart. I think you know what Mediapart is about. Mediapart
you can find the government of India can order a probe without a criminal complaint.
Let me say, Rajdeep, give me some time. Be patient with me. Be patient with me. You have three.
I'm very patient.
So let me finish saying what I'm saying. I'll come to all of it because I'm really up to speed and I really want to talk about it. So firstly, just like Yashwardhanji said, that India need not, or any country did not tell the world and public as to what kind of security plans it has when it comes to matters of internal security and defense. That's one. Two, there was some mention of forensic analysis of some phones. So I want to know who's done this forensic analysis. Yashwardhanji just said, and I was very curious because yesterday I read that Amnesty also does forensic analysis, which I was not aware of. So Mr. Azad, where did you get this information about these phones in India having undergone forensic surveillance?
So you're questioning the bona fides of the entire process by which the forensic analysis was done. Am I correct? Am I correct?
No, you haven't. No, that's one thing. And secondly, the report itself, now they have gone back and they're calling it potentially.
They said potential from day one. So no, ma'am, I'm sorry. The BJP did spin bowling on that.
No, let me finish.
I have gone through their statements on day one and yesterday. They always use the word potential targets. Please don't confuse the viewer. Please don't confuse the viewer, ma'am. My job is to fact check you.
I must be allowed to speak. I think it's very unfair. So I think Rahul Gandhi is petrified that going to the court, because last time he went to court on Rafale, you know what happened.
Okay.
Similarly, last time when he mentioned his favorite courtier's report on Galwan, Indian Army responded. So I think there's a fear as to why.
Okay, so you're saying Rahul Gandhi is afraid. Let's listen in to Rahul Gandhi. I've heard you, ma'am. Listen in to Rahul Gandhi now. Listen in to Rahul Gandhi. Let's listen in.
You're not listening.
Please play it. No, you've said your point.
I get phone calls from IP people who tap my phone. Okay, they call me up and say, please be aware that we are tapping your phone. Okay, so also, by the way, my security people tell me, right, that they have to debrief what I say. They have to report to their seniors everything I say. So I'm under no pretensions that I'm not tapped. Sir, ये जनता की आवाज पर आक्रमण है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट पे पेगासस का प्रयोग किया गया. राफेल का जो इन्वेस्टिगेशन है, उसको रोकने के लिए पेगासस का प्रयोग किया गया. तो नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने इस हथियार को हमारे देश के खिलाफ यूज किया है. और इसके लिए सिर्फ एक शब्द है, ट्रीजन. होम मिनिस्टर को इस्तीफा देना चाहिए और जुडिशियल इंक्वायरी, सुप्रीम कोर्ट इंक्वायरी नरेंद्र मोदी पे होनी चाहिए.
Gaurav Ballabh, on Rafale, the Congress did not go to the Supreme Court. Will you go to the Supreme Court on this issue? What is your way forward?
Rajdeep,
the government has made it very clear. They are saying no inquiry.
I am asking a question. None of my two questions were answered. Then I am answering your question, Rajdeep.
I'm not in a position
please, please allow me to speak.
Yeah, please go.
Nobody can answer these questions.
No. Why?
Then why you are there then on this panel?
Okay, she's saying she can't answer the question, so that's also over. Now tell me, Gaurav Ballabh, what will you do? Okay. She's saying I'm not going to answer how the amount has gone to 333 crores. I cannot answer whether Pegasus was bought by the government.
Okay.
Whatever comes to national security.
Now what she is telling.
Okay.
What she is telling.
Okay, Shazia's voice, please. Dim. Now, Gaurav, tell me. She's saying she can't answer it. You answer.
Okay. A clear-cut case of treason, she is not able to answer. And she is telling, go to the court. Madam, then you are here in this government for calling Didi or Didi. You are there in this government for playing with peacock. What the hell you are doing in this government? Spokesperson can't answer the question. Government says, I don't know.
No.
Minister of IT, please allow me to speak.
He must be allowed to speak. Go ahead.
Minister of IT is saying in the parliament that in the past similar claims were made regarding the use of Pegasus on WhatsApp. And I am having, Rajdeep, a CERT vulnerability report in front of me. This CERT vulnerability report dated May 17, 2019, specifically it is quoted that a vulnerability has been reported. And now another minister, the ex-IT minister, is making a statement. If over 45 countries use Pegasus, why target just India? Madam, don't, you can't run away like this. That file a FIR, go to the court. Then what the hell you are doing in the government?
No, so
then
what
you should
will happen?
first of all resign.
No.
You resign from the government, then you will go to the court.
Ballab, you're saying what the hell are you doing in the government? I am asking you, what is the opposition going to do? Government has made it stand clear. They are not going to order an inquiry.
If they are not going to order an inquiry, then the country, this is a democratic country, Rajdeep. We are going to take this case in the court of the people of our country.
No,
we will show to the people.
No, Shazia, you can't intervene. Please switch off the mic. Go ahead.
I am saying we will take this into the court of people. We will share that how come a scientist, CBI, the officials or the ex-election commissioner of India, the Supreme Court, they were given a permanent dent by this government. We are going to take this to the court of people of our country. And Shazia ji, you are not here just to say, "Humko kuch nahi pata." Government knows. When we ask a question to the government, minister doesn't know the answer. Why can't Prime Minister make a tweet whether Pegasus is purchased or not? Why can't a Home Minister who had developed a new interest of writing a blog can write a simple sentence whether Pegasus is purchased by our country or not? If it is purchased, then probe is required.
Okay.
Under which act of the ITF this snooping is done? If this is not purchased, then this is a question of national integrity. How an external people from the other countries are snooping our election commissioner, are snooping our Supreme Court judges, are snooping leaders of opposition, are snooping the journalists.
Okay, you're also...
This is not the way. This is not the democracy.
No.
I will make a fresh point.
Yes.
So Gaurav mentioned names of some journalists and Supreme Court Supreme Court judge. That judge, if we take the name, happens to be Rajya Sabha MP from the BJP, who has been maligned by the opposition a number of times. And not just that, they are government functionaries and current ministers. So are you saying that the government itself would be snooping on its own?
I am just asking. I will give you the answer. I will give you the answer.
Quite confused.
I will give you the answer.
And the reason why you want to go to the court of the people is because you're petrified and scared.
I will give you the answer. Allow me
give the answer. Gaurav Ballab, give the answer. Sajja, let him give the answer.
You're going to court of people and not the real court.
Okay.
Because you know you have nothing substantiated.
Okay, you're saying going to the court of the people is not substantiated. I'm afraid we've run out of time.
I'm giving give me last statement.
Don't be
scared. Okay, Shazia, you've been heard. Gaurav Ballab, producer. Gaurav Ballab, go ahead. 30 seconds.
Now, Rajdeep, she is telling that who is pro the answer and what happened to the Rafale. Now, Rafale case is also out, Rajdeep. जब CBI versus CBI हो रहे थे, तो कोई मोर के साथ बैठ के देख रहे थे अपने फोटो में that what is happening. When Supreme Court, there was a charge against the Supreme Court Chief Justice for sexual harassment. Then more ke saath we are seeing what is happening. This is not democracy.
Gaurav Ballab, let's leave it there. You're saying you will take this to the court of the people. The BJP is daring you to take it to the court. Yashovardhan Azad, 20 seconds. Where should this matter be heard? Should the court take cognizance or not?
Washington Post.
Very quick 2 points.
Yeah.
Away from the political charges and the counter charges, in a democracy, if you get allegations like this, that so many phones have been tapped, it is incumbent upon the government to order a probe, number one. Number two, the opposition also should not be scared that those phones on which the forensic analysis has been done, they should report as an FIR. And third, I think it is time that we realize that in one of the largest democracies, in the fifth largest economy, a thing like this should call for an independent judicial probe.
Okay, independent judicial probe is what a former IPS officer says who served in the IB. Will someone listen? We are a functioning democracy. You should listen at times to the voices of wise people away from the political noise. Think about it. Thank you all very much for joining me.